Can I just acknowledge and thank our Principal Rachel Sol for hosting us so generously here at Govt School. And Rachel, just thank you so much for your leadership of this great school community. We really do appreciate the role that you play. And I just want to congratulate you and all of your amazing team for the incredible job that you're doing actually getting our kids off to a great start in life. What's happening here, I think, at Govt School is incredibly exciting. It's exactly what we want to see happening more across the whole of New Zealand. And can I just also say to every teacher, every principal, every teacher aide, thank you very much for all the work that you do, the hard work that you do, making a difference in the lives of our young people and getting them off to such a great start in their education. Look, every child and every young person in New Zealand deserves the same chance to do well in life, no matter what their background and what their circumstances are. Education, as we all know, is the great leveller. It gets you from one set of circumstances and opens the door to another. And receiving a world-class education not only sets young people up for success beyond school, but it's also part of how we ultimately build a stronger and more secure New Zealand. Kids of today are New Zealand's future entrepreneurs, scientists, doctors, engineers and teachers, and for New Zealand to do well in the future as a country, we need a very well-educated population. And that all starts with us getting the basics right, whether that be reading, writing and mathematics. When we entered government, far too many of our kids were leaving school without the basic knowledge and the skills that they need to fulfil their potential. The problem was pretty clear and the numbers speak for themselves. Only half of our children entering high school were at the standard they needed to be at on reading. And incredibly, 80% of our children entering high school are not at the standard they were needed to be at when they entered on mathematics. And the bottom line is that's not acceptable to any of us, and it's certainly not acceptable as being part of a first world country like New Zealand. We're not prepared to look the other way. We were determined that we need to get back to teaching the basics brilliantly. Structured literacy, structured mathematics, a clear focus on the fundamentals, but you can't build anything without them. I think we've made some really good and encouraging progress, and we're seeing some early and encouraging results, and I know Erica will talk more about that shortly. But today's announcement builds on that progress. It cements the commitment that we've already made to ensure the success of our primary and intermediate students in literacy and mathematics. The investment we're announcing today will contribute directly to our goal and our target of seeing 80% of Year 8 students at or above the expected curriculum level for their age in reading, writing and maths by December 2030. Yes, it's ambitious, but we should be incredibly ambitious for our kids and incredibly ambitious for our great country. And with that, I'll hand over to Erica to talk you through some of the details of today's pre-budget announcement.
Thank you, Prime Minister, and thank you so much to Rachel for hosting us here today as we announce our next step in the plan to lift achievement and close the equity gap for young New Zealanders. And I want to start today with some very encouraging news. The latest Curriculum Insights and Progress study from 2025 show early signs of improvement in student achievement across New Zealand for the first time in a really long time. Curriculum Insights is a nationally representative sample of schools around the country, measuring reading, writing and maths in years 3, 6 and 8. And what makes these results particularly significant is the timing. Our reforms have only been in place since the start of 2025, Term 1, 25. We implemented the new knowledge-rich English and maths curriculum, structured literacy, structured maths, and new classroom resources, and a significant way in which we teach maths and literacy. These curriculum insights were conducted just after 3.5 terms of implementation, so not even a full year. And after such a significant reform program, and with only 3.5 terms of implementation, we were expecting achievement to remain stable while schools embedded these changes. So to be already seeing areas of improvement is incredibly encouraging. Overall, achievement results have remained stable nationally, but importantly, we've seen statistically significant improvements between 2024 and 2025 in Year 6 writing and Year 6 mathematics, increasing by 5% and 6% respectively. This exceeded our expectations. And they're particularly significant because for years New Zealand has seen this pattern of declining achievement between Year 4 and Year 8. And these results suggest that we're beginning to turn that around. But these, what emphasise our very early signs only. There is still a huge amount of work ahead of us, and no one is claiming mission accomplished just yet in less than a year of reform. Real success will mean that we are seeing small improvements over many years with more children at curriculum and less needing additional support. But these early results give us an optimism and confidence that our reforms are moving in the right direction. And I want to acknowledge the extraordinary work of teachers and school leaders right across New Zealand who've just got on with the job of implementing these reforms in their schools. ERO's latest report shows that at least 85% of teachers have changed their teaching practice in literacy and maths. That is an enormous achievement in a very short space of time. So to all of the teachers and the principals out there who've worked so hard to implement these changes, your professionalism and your dedication to your students is reflected in these early results. We did not expect to see results like these so early, and it is 100% because of the work that you have done in the classrooms, and for that we thank you. Now, we promised parents, teachers and principals that support would continue year after year to continue to embed these reforms properly in classrooms, and today, as part of Budget 26, we're delivering on that promise with $131 million of new investment into the existing Teaching the Basics Brilliantly reforms. In maths, we're introducing new maths hubs that are centres of excellence. One of the best things for building confidence and capability as a teacher is to spend time with experienced colleagues, looking at best practice, undertaking observation and discussing resourcing and planning. And these hubs will create that opportunity for the sector to now own these reforms themselves. We're providing hands-on tactical resources for every school for year 0 to 8 around the country. We're funding another 36 maths intervention teachers to work with small groups for catch-up. We're introducing a new multiplication and division check at year 5 to make sure that students are developing fact fluency and accuracy. And we are also, within existing funding, not part of the budget, expanding our hugely successful year 7 and 8 maths tutoring program into years 9 and 10. And that is a direct request by the sector, and we're pleased to be able to deliver it. In literacy, we're funding new curriculum-aligned writing books for year 4 and 5. Really excitingly for me, we are providing a digital writing tool for students to build fluency in year 6 to 8. Many schools already purchase this type of resource themselves, this tool themselves. We will be providing it free of charge to all schools between years 6 and 8 to around 180,000 students around the country. We're introducing new decodable readers for older learners in year 3 to 10. Now, these are age-appropriate decodable learners for those readers who are still struggling to get the words off the page. We're funding a new 12-week intervention program designed for structured literacy intervention teachers to take those small groups for catch-up. We're introducing a new Year 2 literacy check that will not only check reading, but writing as well, spelling and simple punctuation. We're also providing videos and resources for teachers to support high-quality literacy teaching aligned to the curriculum. It's really important that we continue to invest in our teaching workforce. The $131 million package also includes professional learning and development so that teachers can use data really well in their planning, as well as high-impact teaching practices and explicit instruction in classrooms. And I know that many schools will be very excited about that last one. Great teachers are key to our successful reform, and we're committed to ensuring that they have all of the tools they need to teach the basics brilliantly. Since coming into government, we have been very clear that our focus is on teaching what works in a way that works, and we've invested in that, in what works, expanding initiatives and support that will raise achievement. That's why in today's announcement, you've seen more intervention teachers, more tutoring, more supports, more catch-up resources, more in-class resources, more training for teachers, and more quality monitoring of student progress. Because this is how you build a comprehensive and cohesive system of reform. Parents expect that their child will learn to read well, write confidently, and succeed in maths, no matter which school they're at around New Zealand, and that is not an unreasonable expectation. There's a lot more work ahead, but today's results show that with evidence-based teaching, a knowledge-rich curriculum, high expectations and quality resources, great teachers, time on task and sustained investment from our government, we can turn these results around. We're ambitious for young New Zealanders, and this government is going to continue backing these reforms year after year to ensure every single child gets the chance that they deserve to succeed. Thank you very much.
Okay, well,